Welcome to the Explainer. You know that feeling when your AI tools are amazing at answering your questions, but they're not so great at actually getting things done? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to show you how to build a team of AIs that doesn't just talk the talk, but actually walks the walk, handling complex tasks for you from beginning to end. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll explore that massive leap from just getting answers to actually achieving goals. Then we'll dive into what makes it all tick, the AI's brain and its tools. After that, we'll assemble a whole autonomous team. And crucially, we'll show you how to always keep the human in charge. Finally, we'll look at what this all really means for your business's bottom line. All right, so what's the real difference between an AI that can just tell you about a flight and one that can go out and book that flight for you? It's a huge, fundamental shift, and it all starts with a problem I bet you've run into before. Think about it. You can ask a chatbot, hey, what is a flight? And it'll give you a perfect dictionary definition. But the second you ask, okay, so what's the price of a flight tomorrow? You get crickets. Why is that? Well, one question is about knowing something from a book, from the past. The other is about doing something in the live, real world. And bridging that gap is where everything gets interesting. This slide really nails the difference. On the left, you have information retrieval. Just think about like a brilliant librarian who's read every book in the world, but is physically stuck inside the library. On the right, you've got goal achievement. This is the AI that can actually walk out of the library, grab some tools, and go accomplish things in the real world for you. So the big question is, how do we get our AI out of that library and into the real world? Let's pop open the hood a bit and see what makes this powerful jump from being a simple model to a truly capable agent. Okay, so it all starts with the brain, and that's the large language model, or LLM. This thing has been trained on just an insane amount of data from the internet, so it understands language, it gets context, it can even reason. But here's the catch. By itself, it's basically a brilliant brain in a jar. It knows a ton, but it has no hands, no way to interact with anything outside of its own knowledge. And this is where the tools come in. An API, you could think of it as a special connection that lets the AI talk to other programs, like a flight booking website or your company's internal software. These are the hammer and the screwdriver that let the brain actually build something real. So you can see this evolution pretty clearly. Step 1, you've got the brain, the LLM, stuck with what it already knows. Step 2, you give that brain some tools, like that API to a travel site. Now it can see live, real-time information. And boom, step 3, it uses those tools to take action. It's not just a chatbot anymore, it's a basic AI agent that can find and book that cheap flight. Okay, so booking one flight is a pretty simple task for one agent. But what about a really complex project? You wouldn't just give that to one person, right? You'd build a team. Well, it's the exact same idea with AI. Let's up the stakes. Imagine you give your AI a much bigger goal, just like you would to a travel agent. This isn't just book a flight. This is a whole project. And look at all these rules we're adding. We're not just finding a cheap flight anymore. The weather has to be perfect, the budget is strict, and, maybe most importantly, the system needs to know if you even have a valid visa before it does anything else. These are all tangled together. You know, a single agent trying to juggle all of that would be like one person trying to be a travel agent, a weather forecaster, and an immigration expert all at the same time. It's just not going to work well. You need a team of specialists. And this brings us to this really powerful idea, Agentic AI. This is a system where you have a whole team of agents. They can communicate with each other, they can hand off tasks, and they can work together to solve a big, messy problem, all without you having to micromanage every little thing. So let's see how this team actually works in practice. The flight agent starts its job. It's checking Expedia, it's looking at the weather forecast, but it immediately realizes, wait a second, I can't book anything until I know if this person can legally travel. So it pauses and sends a message to the immigration agent, basically asking, hey, is the visa good to go? The immigration agent then uses its own special tools, checks your files, and replies, yep, all clear. And only after getting that green light does the flight agent move forward. That right there is real teamwork. Now, having this level of autonomy is incredibly powerful. But of course, it raises a really important question for any manager out there. How do you make sure you're still in control and that this all happens safely? Yeah, the idea of just letting an AI team run wild with your company's data, that's a pretty scary thought. But here's the thing to remember. Autonomous does not mean unsupervised. You are still the manager and you get to set all the rules of the game. Honestly,
Think about it just like managing your human team. You decide who gets the keys to which filing cabinet. You set budgets. You demand final approval before a big check is signed. It is exactly the same with your AI team. You can build in a rule that requires your final okay before any money is spent. You can make sure the travel agent AI can't see your financial reports. You are delegating the work, not giving up your authority.
Okay, so we've got this smart, collaborative AI team that works safely within the boundaries you've created. That all sounds great, but what's the actual real-world payoff? How does this make your business better? Let's look at a super practical example, onboarding a new employee. You know the drill. It's a painful process that takes hours of manual data entry, sending emails, creating calendar invites, and it's so easy to make a mistake. With an agentic AI system, one single command, onboard new employee, kicks off a whole team of agents that gets it all done in minutes. And it's done perfectly every single time. And this is where you really see the return on your investment. When you automate these kinds of complex but repetitive workflows, you can see time savings of up to 95%. That frees up your people to do the things that humans are uniquely good at. Building relationships, thinking strategically, creative problem solving, the stuff that AI can't do. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. What is that one complicated, annoying, multi-step process in your business that's just eating up everyone's time? Because that process right there, it might just be the perfect first job for your new super efficient AI team.